'Twas the night before draft day, and all through the house, all that was heard were league members and the clicking of their mouse. Their spreadsheets were marked up with the utmost of care, in hopes that a late round sleeper would still be sitting there. Team owners were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of fantasy football winnings danced in their heads. And wife with her chai tea, and I with my thinking cap, had just settled down for a late summer nap. When out from the TV arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away I flew to the remote without fear, to turn up the volume so that I could hear. The words came out, and loudly I shrieked. A key player had arthritis by the name of Todd Gurley. But then there was more. The bad news brought more frowns. A serious frostbite to Antonio Brown. So back to my cheat sheets, I'd have to erase the players that were injured, subs taking their place. The lists were adjusted without any doubt, so that I'd be prepared on draft day and ready to shout. Now Johnson, now Hopkins, now Delvin and Zeke, on Thielen, on Chubb, Montgomery, and Tyreek. To the top of my list, to the top of my dream, I hope I get at least 2 of these guys on my team. The newscast was over. No more players left to change. It was 2 a.m. My wife thought that I was strange. To be up at that hour, on the computer I'd type. After I win the championship, she'll no longer gripe. And then, in a twinkling, a thought in my head. One last thing I can do before returning to bed. I drew up my hand, and then I just laughed. What's a few more minutes up? Doing another mock draft. So I went about my business, drafting for 12 pretend teams. No longer would I have to worry about any of this in my dreams. The players I'd call up, then issue some chatter. My wife again looked over and wondered what was the matter with me. My eyes must have twinkled. My dimples turned merry. Would I get a good team? I'd have to say very. I would not be made at the draft to look like a fool, because I'm a fantasy legend with all the right tools. The mock draft went on. My fake team carried my heart. It really didn't matter that it was well after dark. The world would exclaim that my picks were pretty good. And hey, let's face it, I did the best that I could. One last sweep of the net to read more player news, and even some columns to get the experts' views. Preparing for the draft is really hard work, but in the end, it's all worth it so that on draft day, you don't look like a jerk. The draft was tomorrow. Now, time for some rest. I want to be alert and feeling my best. The cheat sheets were ready. My league mates would feel my might. And to that, I'll end it all right. Happy draft day to all, and to all a good night.